Hello everyone and welcome to a new little video on my channel. So the thing is that a few weeks ago my ant colony, the Sun Empire, my Camperones ant colony, they started to be constantly at a very high number in the outworld, and also the nest is getting quite full. So I decided that they needed an upgrade. I decided to create a little something with scrap stuff that I had, because I'm in quarantine. I can't exactly go out to a craft store or gathering store to buy all the stuff that I would need normally to build more of the setup. So this is sort of a built from scratch type thing, and I didn't record it because I thought it wasn't going to be interesting, so I didn't record the building process. I did record myself creating the substrate, which is quite important. I had all the ingredients that I needed to create a good substrate here, so I did that. And then I decided to record, the whole moving in thing, and I actually got some of the most amazing footage. Well, definitely the most amazing footage I've ever created or ever recorded, but some of the most amazing footage I've seen of Camperones on small YouTube channels. I think I just really did very, very well with the footage that I took. So first of all, let me explain exactly what I built, because I didn't record it, but I can still explain it. So I took a box, a containment unit to store stuff. It was used to store dog food for my youngest dog, but now he eats the same food as his brother. So we don't need that box anymore. So the box was to be trashed or to be cleaned and used again. So I cleaned it and used it again myself. I intended to create a sort of slope design with the lateral wall, so that I could build some stuff up and be able to see them better without any glass, or in this case plastic, in the way, because the plastic isn't exactly see-through. It's slightly opaque. On one of the sides it kind of failed and it broke along a vertical line, and so I had to improvise there, but the other side is how it was supposed to be. I didn't exactly have the tools that I needed, so it was just a hand saw and some elbow grease. Now with that box completely kept, I used hot glue to glue two round sticks to the bottom to create some sort of height. I've noticed that the Sun Empire really likes to climb around their outworld, so I decided that creating vertical space would be very useful for them, because they need space. They apparently love to explore, and exploring vertically is much more space efficient for me. So doing that, I also added the substrate, a rock, a few twigs, and a few plants. I also ended up mixing in grass seeds with the substrate, which means that grass started growing. So I had to cut that back, and I wanted the grass there to have the roots of the grass sort of hold up the substrate a little bit together, because I didn't want it to be good for creating tall mounds so that they couldn't build their way out of the setup. So it's kind of very loose soil. Therefore, in order to keep it from falling apart when they actually build tunnels below where the roots would be, I want the roots to be there to hold it all together. This way they can't exactly build up, but building chambers below, if they decide to nest in this outworld, is very cool. In fact, to this I gave them the outworld 2 days ago from the day I'm recording this, and they have already built a few chambers and tunnels. I have never seen them bring brood in and out of there, so I don't know if there's any brood there yet, but for the most part I think there isn't. But anyway, they started to build. So I've also added a few isopods, which I didn't record me placing them in, but in the footage that you'll see in a bit, you'll be able to see a few. These are Portuguese isopods that I find in my garden. I have a sort of breeder of them. I breed them so that I don't have to go out and get some that might be infected or contaminated with stuff. So I have a little box where I breed those in my balcony, and those are completely pest free and whatever, so they're just fine, and they'll clean up the garbage that the ants make, hopefully. So the substrate, in fact, just very quickly run that over. It's a mix of potting soil that is horse manure, specifically because that way it's organic, and it's fibers that are not very and not very extensively digested. So it's some of the best potting soil to create terrariums. Not exactly the best for plants, but for terrariums it's great as in its structure and the fact that it's completely organic. I also used wood shavings that I made with those, you know, little cylindrical bricks for your fireplace or salamander. Those I made sure that were completely organic. Those are pine, and I also used a block of cocoa husk and cocoa fiber, cocoa humus, whatever you want to call it. That's stuff that's usually used with reptiles. I used 1 part cocoa fiber, 1 part pine shavings, and 1 part horse manure. Okay, so I'm now editing this video, and to clarify, I'm not using horse poop in my terrariums. It's potting soil made from horse manure. It doesn't smell bad or anything. It's potting soil made from horse feces. It's a thing, it's organic, and it's, as I've said, one of the best to use in this sort of situation. And that altogether makes the main components of the substrates to, you know, to mix it up and give it a little bit more richness. I also added some crushed up charcoal and some dried leaves that I, you know, just crunched up with my hands. I also added a little bit of dry moss, and all that will be, you know, enrich the substrate for the isopods. Eventually I want to add springtails, but I don't have any at the moment, and also, you know, for the plants to be able to grow better. I think I also added a little bit of sand to make sure that the soil was extra loose for the effect of the ants not being able to, you know, as I've said, build their way out of the soil. Let's check out the setup and how they move in. So, now that the new outworld was connected to the setup, we can see the ants exploring. This new module sat as a middle piece between their outworld and their main nest. So we have these ants coming from the outworld and the ants coming from the nest above. As you can see, the old outworld is quite the popular site at the moment. This is because the ants are enjoying some honey inside of those protein jelly cups. Back in the new outworld, you can see that more and more brave explorers are making their way around the new space. As this worker in particular here was the first one to complete the journey from the nest entrance to the old outworld entrance. And now, through the pheromone trails that she will have laid down, all the ants will be able to rebuild their awareness of space and know that from the nest to the old outworld they need to go through this new space. As you can see, more and more ants are coming out of their nest, and look at how cool they look up close. It's so amazing. Did you know that the name Camponotus, the name of this genus, comes from the arc that they have in their thorax, the middle section of their body? Try if you see if you can tell that out with the up close footage. Here you can see one huge isopod that is living in the outworld, peacefully among the ants. Wow, see that? That's a big worker, most likely coming from the nest to stock up on the delicious honey that her sisters found in the old outworld. Now, this is cool and all, watching the ants, but let's give them a couple minutes to settle up and explore more and see what they actually come to do. Here, you can see the first worker to make her way up to the top of one of the pillars that I placed in the outworld. Look how excited she is to tell all her friends about the cool new spot that she just discovered. I provided some honey on the top of the other pillar, but they seem to be more interested in this one for some reason. I've also given them some housewarming gifts in the form of mealworm pieces, which, with the exception to that one, they really just mostly ignored. They seem to be a lot more excited about exploring. Now to the single most amazing clip I have ever taken, and maybe will ever take. I mean, it's a bit shaky, but when I manage to sustain the camera, it's whoa. See this hand here? See how excited she is? That's because she found the 2 mealworm pieces I left in the top of the tallest pillar. You can see her taste and eat some of the mealworm meat. She seemed quite confused with what to do with the food that she had found. Eventually, a friend came by, but the friend seemed to have something else in her mind. Then our friend here decided to try to pull out the mealworm's guts. And look at that! It's so amazing to see that ant working so up close. And those jaws! Look at those jaws! It seems that mealworm is actually quite sticky. She finished taking out the guts and clipped them at the end, and then she just left. I guess she got tired or something, but she just left the carcass. Anyway, that's enough of commentary for this footage. I'll leave you with some music and some ant footage for you to enjoy, and I'll come back at the end of the video, so I'll see you in a little bit. So that's all. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching till the end, and if you could, please, share it, like, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Leave a comment down below telling me what you think of this new addition to my Sun Empire's setup, and also what you think of the footage I took. Personally, I think it was great footage. Definitely the best I've ever taken, and I mean, that's all. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Hey, whoops.
Ay, 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 ay.